Do you get nervous when there's nothing in the works, or is there a sense of freedom because of the possibilities of what could happen?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you almost thrive off that?
Yeah, I don't know if I thrive. I mean, I honestly, because careers can be such roller coasters, and you can go through, as a writer, you can go through many periods where you're really not really not working for hire, and hopefully you're writing on your own, and you're cranking out material, and you're utilizing the free time. But because sometimes there can be a lot of downtime, it can be nerve-wracking. I like to. Honestly, the ideal thing is to have enough work along the way to keep you financially solvent, but have a little bit of downtime in between to work on your own projects. Like, if based upon what you like to do. I mean, I like writing stage plays, so I like to have time here and there. I recently had shoulder surgery, and I was home, like literally, I mostly didn't leave the house for 6 weeks, and I could only type with one hand, but I was able to sort of use my other hand, and I just said, you know what, I'm going to finish something at the end of the 6 weeks. This is tough being here. I'm in pain. I'm going to finish writing something, and I had started a new play before I had the surgery, and I just literally just finished this new play, at the end of this period, and it was just so great. And I'm very happy with that particular play. I'm looking forward to continuing to work on it. But I didn't have an assignment at that time, so it did give me the freedom to write that. And during that period, not feeling all that great, it was really nice not to have somebody waiting for something from me, because I didn't want to disappoint them or something, and because of the pain and whatever. So that was a good period, to not be, to be on assignment. But by and large, I like it to be err on the side of more work, more paid work, or more assignment work than not. It's like charging your batteries is charged. I like just knowing there's stuff out there that's happening. But I'm also pretty, I'm just always working on something and writing something, and or trying to market old scripts or work with my agent to get new meetings and make things happen. So I really utilize the time to do that. What's nice about having a little free time is that you can get back to your career and your bigger picture of your career, and not, because when you nose the grindstone, sometimes you forget, well, but I did have that script I was trying to sell, or I still do want to get that assignment there, or I want to be on that show there, or whatever, and you just can't do it because you're so focused on your work, and the issue at hand. So yeah, it's nice to have a combination of both, but you're probably better off having the work, more work than not, I think.
Well, it goes back to what you said about kind of like focusing too much on the minutia. So it sounds like, even though you do like to be working and you like to have stuff going, it sounds like, but that to have a little bit of a breathing room, you can kind of stand back and see more. Yeah,
you sometimes lose the big picture, when you're in the cave, and then when you get out of it, then you can look back and say, okay, I'm out now, got a little time, where am I? Let me because as a writer, and it's similar for directors and producers, you have to be the master of your own ship, the master of your own destiny in terms of your career. You have to keep it moving forward if you want to keep working. And an agent is great, but they can just do so much, in terms of it. It's really up to us to really stay on top of it and stay focused in terms of what our end game is, or what our goals are, or what are my goals? My goals are to keep writing movies that get made, and write things that are meaningful to me and that I hope people will enjoy, and all of that, to tell my stories and that kind of thing. But that doesn't just happen, and sometimes you have to really keep your eye on the ball in terms of, because time goes very, very fast, and if it's not you, it'll be somebody else, and we have a finite amount of time on this planet.
Absolutely. And going back to when you left one career, and you don't have to give too many details about it, but were you able to step back from a lot of minutia at that point, because you probably had more free time on your hands?
It was a really weird time, because I was so used to getting a steady paycheck. And I had, fortunately, I had stashed away enough money to go through this process, and until I got work again. But that was a big thing for me, to kind of just be okay about getting sporadic paychecks, and not knowing when the next paycheck was going to be, than knowing it's just a safety net, basically. And that part was difficult. But when I left that job and started becoming a screenwriter, TV writer at that point, it was all it was all focus all the time for me. I mean, it was just like I just dove into the deep end, and you know, and there was so much to do and so much to write, and you know, you had to like, it was like starting, it was starting a whole new career. There was just a lot to learn, you know, and I had to be out there a lot, and you know, really just keep my eye on the ball. So it was an exciting time, but you know, definitely challenging. But yeah, it was not a lot of downtime. And and also back then, I would feel very guilty about having downtime. I would just feel like I shouldn't be going to the movies. I should be working on my new spec script or something. And that was hard. I mean, it took a long time for me to not feel guilty about not working. But that eventually happened when I got enough work and like, okay, I don't want to be working, you know, at that moment, you know. So that was okay. But you go through phases. Every career has its phases, you know, and we grow as people, and you know, and as we experience more, you know, and as you become more confident or more self-possessed or more, you know, just less beholden to the forces out there, you know.
Right. Well, I think too, did it take training for you to get out of that 9 to 5 or whatever it was, 9 to 7 mindset?
Well, it kept, you know, it kept me pretty structured. You know, I mean, I was so used to that kind of 9 to 5 or 9. That job was like 9 to 9. But I would, you know, I was, you know, used to getting up early, used to, you know, just getting my work done, used to having a goal for every day and all that. So that translated really well when I was working on my own, because otherwise it might have been like, oh my God, how am I going to organize this? What am I going to do? You know, that part wasn't an issue. It was just like, will I get a job? Will I be will I be successful? You know, will I be able to, you know, really make a go of this?